This is a quick video just to tell you about this button, the join button. You may not have noticed it, but it is now on the front page, right next to the subscribe button. So if you're not subscribed, then I would appreciate you doing that. But if you are, so of course you could take it one step further by becoming a member. And it's a very good system. It's integrated into YouTube, so everything in there. But essentially, it's just like Patreon. But if you become a member, you have certain benefits that you can benefit from. You've got some benefits that you can benefit from. What can you get? Well, you get priority viewing, you get members only stuff, you get some discount on merchandise, and of course if you are lucky, you may even get some free stuff as well for being a member. So it's very easy to do. Just click the button and fill in all the details, and of course you'll become one of a select few. Now, I want to just reiterate for anybody who's thinking, I can't watch videos anymore, I have to pay. No, everything remains free. And of course, there is no compulsion for you to do that. If you don't want to, or you cannot afford it, it doesn't matter, because everything remains free. Which is not the benefits, though, because they're not free.
There is nothing wrong with your television set. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are controlling transmission.
Stand by to receive our transmission.
40, 40, 40, 40, 40.
big welcome, please, for Andy Wright.
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of gum.
To boldly go where no man has gone before. To boldly go where no man has gone before. To boldly go where no man has gone before.
And now, here's the world's greatest.
Good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Hello, welcome. Thank you for coming in. It's Sunday afternoon. It's 28th of June, and it's horrible. Hello to Brian. Good afternoon, Brian. How are you? And of course, hello to the other two who are watching. Not said hello yet, but hello to you. And also hello to the people that popped in and out during the introductions. There was a couple of people, so welcome. And bye-bye to one of those that disappeared. So bye-bye. Hello to Facebookers. We have Hillary, Alan, and Keith. Good afternoon. Now, today we have a very special day today because we have a special guest. Ooh! Yes, we've got a special guest. I've recorded the interview today, so we're going to play that later on. We've got two parts. One will have about 2:20 and the other one about 3 o'clock. So there'll be two parts for that. Lovely young lady, Eliza, who's also a YouTuber, and I think you'll find it a very interesting interview. I enjoyed it, and of course, I'm hoping to be able to get some other YouTubers to come on and have interviews with those. Obviously, that would depend if they can be bothered. But thank you to Eliza for that. She was suffering with the hospital visit this morning, so a bit worried that she wouldn't make it, but she did make it, and thank you very much. Now, Brian, how are you, mate? Yeah, looks like you're all alone with the commenting today. I don't know where everybody is. I was getting a bit worried there at 2 o'clock. I was thinking we've got nobody watching, so that's going to be a bit of a bummer. I don't know where everybody is lately. I think it can't be the weather because it's not very nice. There's nothing on TV, so I don't know what it is. You like my shirt? Yes. Star Trek. Yes, Star Trek. Way.
This is goodbye.
Star Trek. Star trekking across the universe. Have a quick view of the studio. Hello, studio. There we are. There's the studio. Hello. My little studio going on. Thank you very much for coming in. Talking Really channel. So if you want to subscribe, then if you haven't done that already, and you're one of the few people there watching who aren't taking part, hello. I don't know what's up with this today, but the StreamYard thing seems to be running a bit slow. And you're typing in the comments, it's taking forever to come up on the screen. So I don't know why that is. No idea. StreamYard, don't you love it? Well, it is, looks like it's just you and me, Brian. So we'll have a little chat. And don't forget, if anybody would like to come on, we do have time. We do have a couple of time slots And I'm hoping that we'll have some Jackie's stuff later, hopefully, if she comes on. Otherwise, it's going to be a bit boring, just you and me. Hello, Stephen, on Facebook. Hello. Please feel free to join me on my YouTube channel there, Talking Reading. And, of course, you can join me on Twitch and Facebook. We're going live, like you, a bit slow. All right, okay. Ooh,
Flipping heck, that's decent.
have you got a nice cup of tea? That's why. Anyway. Nice cup of Yorkshire tea, yeah. That's good. Nice cup of tea. I haven't got one, I've only got water. You know me, just really boring. Yeah, so I don't know what's going on with this thing, whether it's the StreamYard or whether it's something else. Or it's not exactly very nice for being out and about. Bit cloudy. Hello, Tim. Good afternoon, Tim. There's Tim. Tim is in the house.
Bluebirds over the white cliffs of Dover.
Good afternoon and welcome. I'm just changing the music there. Hello to number 6. Number 6 is in the house. You can't stay long. Oh, part-timers on this show, isn't it? Good God. Part-timers. First, what's up with everybody? The show is 2 till 4. Oh, Tim, no, I see no ships. See no ships. Only hardships. Boom! Ding! Exactly. Yes, don't forget, the show is 2 p.m. till 4 p.m. Ooh. It is now 2:15. Well, 8 minutes past 2. Right, okay then. So, yeah, welcome. Good afternoon to you. Lovely to see you. It will be the last show of this month. June. June is now over. Yep. Last show. Don't forget, you can become a Patreon. All the good people are Patreons, of course. Yes, they are. All the good people. There's lovely people supporting the channel. And of course, you can also become a YouTube membership program member. If you really want to. Of course, you don't have to. Ooh, I don't want that one. That's not Friday. Hello to Jackie. Jackie's in the house. Such a good jingle, that. Such a good jingle. So good, we'll play it again. And of course, I'm presuming that we have Andy number 4. Andy number 4, please. 4. How do you like it? Oh yeah, how do you like it? I like it lots. Hello, Rudy. Good afternoon, Rudy. Yeah.
A message to you, Rudy.
all the way from the land of windmills.
I saw a mouse where? There on the stair. Where on the stair? Right there.
So good afternoon, hello, welcome, thank you for coming in.
Get back to work, you slacker.
If you saw on the titles, we do have a special guest today. Two-part interview. We're going to play it, record it this morning, and we're going to play that later. So the plan is we play that, then we have very good, Rudy, well done. So we're going to play that around about 2:20ish, 2:20, and then again at 3 o'clock. So two parts. In between times, if you want to come on live, please feel free to come on live. I'm hoping to persuade Jackie to get her bits out in between. And of course, he's out on the old whip power. Whip it good. Whip it good. Okay, there we go. So, with old Jackie on her whip. Whip it! Yeah. Thank you, Jackie. You're doing a good job there. Whipping. Of course, get your bits out later if you want to. In between our special guest interview, we had to interview it because she was in A&E this morning, so not very good. So rather than have her come on this afternoon, we decided that we would record the interview, and I have to say, it's brilliant. No, it is really, really good. And I'm inspired to do some more interviews. I'm sorry to say, Rudy, that unfortunately the Friday fun, it's not Friday. So there is no fun. Sorry about that. Where were you then, Friday? Seems that we were talking about Friday. We were missing a load of people, weren't we, Jackie? There was a load of people missing on Friday, not taking part in Friday fun. I don't know where everybody was. We are talking about it's 2020, and there was hardly any fun. Hardly any fun Friday. UV resident. Oh, right. Wow. That sounds clever. That sounds too clever. You made the goldfish in a cube. I'm wondering what the goldfish actually thought of that. Probably not very happy. Never mind, we can have a look at that later if you want to show me. Show me that and your bits. Ha-ha! Yes, of course. So, just to say that while we're doing our interview video, you can still comment on the chat window. So, if you're on your way home from work, engaging in social media while driving a car is illegal. I can't believe that.
I don't think so.
I cannot believe that, Rudy. Why is that? Why is that against the law? Let me just reassure everybody that there are lots of things that are illegal, and it doesn't stop people from doing them.
I don't think so.
As we all know. I'm pretty certain that this show is illegal. It must be. But you know, however, whatever.
Get back to work, you slacker.
Thank you for coming in today. It's Sunday, of course. Sausage and egg. Oh gosh. Sausage and egg. Sausage and egg sandwich. Wow. Yummy, 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 yummy. Fantastic.
Whip it.
Whip it good.
Whip it good.
Andrew, behave yourself. Hello, Tim. Oh, your painting is very good, Andrew. Have you got your microphone sorted out? We want you have you on a guest and chat window and that sort of thing. Yes, it was very good. I was inspired to not to do anything at all, really. What do you mean, nah? Good God, man. Get yourself for a little microphone and a headset. They're very cheap. But you could probably do what I do. Just use one that you've already got. Because that's what I did. The Scotland one was your first one. Oh. Okay. I have to say it didn't look very Scottish, to be fair. No, he didn't get any, Jackie. Bit disappointing. He's skint until Thursday. Well, it won't cost you that much, will it? I mean, what, like a couple of quid? Yeah, a couple of quid. Codfish fingers, fish fingers, chips and spaghetti. Oh, right. Brian, that's a bit weird, mate. What, you mean spaghetti hoops? Because I tell you what, that's very weird, because I had a baked potato. Well, it was a microwave potato, but hey, whatever. Baked potato, sea bass fillet, and spaghetti hoops. That's what I had for lunch, because I thought I can't be bothered to wait until later. Anglo-Italiano, you know. So yeah, they were quite nice. Spaghetti hoops. Is that one? Yeah, I think it probably is. It's like them people that have curry and chips. I can't understand that myself. Curry and chips, bit weird. Sorry, Jackie. Jackie is cracking the whip.
Whip it. Whip it good.
Get the old thumbs up. Thumbs up like a chair. Thumbs up like a chair. Well, I really don't know where everybody is, because there's only 8 on this at the moment. We've had 10. It was about 10 to so. Cheese, ham, and crackers. Yeah, it does. It sounds a bit, yeah. Refuse to eat any curry house that has chips in on them. Yeah. Has to cut spaghetti in a tin. Wow. Oh, of course, red wine. Don't forget the red wine. Delicious red wine. Oh, yes.
I don't think so.
Delicious red wine. Fantastic. Are you going to come on later then, Jackie? Are you going to show your bits? I'm having a hard time persuading people to come on. I don't know why it is. Don't know why. People just don't want to come on. It's only me. Nothing to be worried about. Unlike Andrew number 6, who goes around with nothing on. I suppose that he goes around with nothing on because he's painting, so he obviously doesn't want to get his paint all over his clothes, so he can do it in the naked. Yeah, I could see that would work. That would be quite good, wouldn't it? Ho, ho, ho. Well, it will save time, wouldn't it, Andrew? If you're painting, you've got your paints out, and you're painting, you're painting a piece of artwork. You don't want to get your paint all over your clothes, do you? So you know, just go naked. It's quite good. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just remember, don't go outside like it, because you'll probably get arrested.
I don't think so.
Well, it's all very nice talking to you. We should carry on talking on the chat window, but we're going to do part one. We're going to do part one of the interview with. So, are you all ready then? You're all sitting comfortably, and of course, this interview was recorded this morning. Hello, this is an interview that I recorded today with Eliza Fudge. But anyway, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate that. I saw you on Facebook, and I felt inspired to get you on the show, because I know that we have a lot of people. You're probably not aware of my show, but we have a lot of disabled people come on. We're talking about various subjects, and one of the subjects that I was interested in was the idea of you having a disability and working, because I too. I've sort of worked most of my life. It's been increasingly difficult over the last few years because of my back surgery. But until then, I was doing full-time work, and I was, similar to yourself, making do. Let me just start off with, can you introduce yourself and tell me about yourself just a little bit?
So I'm Eliza. I am 23 and I'm a disabled YouTuber, and I live in London. I make videos about my disability, and I work full-time as a graphic designer.
Wow.
So
you've been to uni as well, haven't you?
Yes. So I graduated last year from graphic design, and I've been working full-time ever since then. I went straight into full-time work after university.
So you're lucky to get a job then directly after uni.
Yeah, I had to intern for a few months, and then I worked really hard at my internship, and then when I got my internship, I was then got the job from there. So yeah.
You identify yourself initially there was what I picked up on was I'm a disabled YouTuber. Is that something that you like to announce to people? Is it because I don't particularly see myself in that way? I'm a YouTuber, yes, I make videos. I don't see myself identifying as being a disabled YouTuber. I make videos about disability, and I talk about disability, and I have a disability, but I don't see that it's important for me to say, oh, I'm a disabled YouTuber.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. Everyone has a different opinion on how we identify. I think I say it because for me, it makes it very clear the work that I do. And also because I kind of pass as able-bodied, and I work, full time and things like that. It's actually a really important part of my identity because it affects me every day and probably every minute of every day. One of my disabilities is playing up. So for me, it's just quite an important part of my identity, and also just a really easy way for me to explain this is what my channel is about, if that makes sense.
Yes. Because you don't look disabled, I think that,
Yeah.
I feel that you're announcing that I'm a disabled YouTuber because you don't look disabled.
Yeah, exactly. And I have had a lot of hate from people being like, "You're not disabled."
Later, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask
you about. So yeah.
What I wanted to ask you was, have you had your disabilities all your life, or did they come on later on in life?
So a mix of both. So I'm dyslexic and dyspraxic. So was obviously born with those. I didn't necessarily get diagnosed until I was older, but I've had them my whole life. I've always had issues. So like as a child, I was born with various infections and stuff. So I have always had issues, but I wasn't diagnosed. So I have lots of different things. I have OCD and anxiety, both of which impact me a lot in my daily life. And they came about when I got a bit older. And I also have overactive bladder and stomach issues as well. Yes. Again, I've always had stomach issues, and it's always impacted me, but I wasn't diagnosed until I was older. And my bladder came on later in life. And I'm currently in the process of speaking to a EDS specialist about whether or not I potentially have EDS, which obviously if I do, then I would have had that for life. And that would make a lot of sense with lots of things that are going on, but we'll kind of see what they say. So I have been disabled my whole life, but I haven't necessarily identified within that community my whole life, because dyslexia and dyspraxia, I felt like I wasn't disabled enough to be, if that makes sense.
When you got to talk like that, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Not disabled enough to be disabled.
Yeah. But it's interesting because that's kind of what you're told. Like, I think because society tells us like, oh, disability is something that you don't want to have, and it, don't identify with being disabled, and if you are disabled, pretend that you're not, so that nobody knows, and when in reality it's not a negative thing. Like, I'm very proud to be disabled, and in lots of ways it has benefited me with kind of things like my creativity and my perseverance and the people that I've met and the communities that I've been part of. Yes, it also can be really rubbish, and I can have days where I'm in bed in pain, but it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing, it's not a negative word. How
did you find having all of these problems at university? Because that's quite stressful in itself, isn't it? Hello, this is an interview that I recorded today with Eliza Fudge. But anyway, thank you very much for coming on. I really appreciate that. I saw you on Facebook, and I felt inspired to get you on the show, because I know that we have a lot of people. You're probably not aware of my show, but we have a lot of disabled people come on. We're talking about various subjects, and one of the subjects that I was interested in was the idea of you having a disability and working, because I too. I've sort of worked most of my life. It's been increasingly difficult over the last few years because of my back surgery. But until then, I was doing full-time work, and I was, similar to yourself, making do. Let me just start off with, can you introduce yourself and tell me about yourself just a little bit?
So I'm Eliza. I am 23 and I'm a disabled YouTuber, and I live in London. I make videos about my disability, and I work full-time as a graphic designer.
Wow. So you've been to uni as well, haven't you?
Yes. So I graduated last year, from graphic design, and I've been working full time ever since then. I went straight into full time work after
So
university.
you were lucky to get a job then directly after uni.
Yeah, I had to intern for a few months, and then I worked really hard at my internship, and then when I got my internship, I was then got the job from there. So yeah.
You identify yourself initially there was what I picked up on was I'm a disabled YouTuber.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that you like to announce to people? Is it because I don't particularly see myself in that way? I'm a YouTuber, yes, I make videos. I don't see myself identifying as being a disabled YouTuber. I make videos about disability, and I talk about disability, and I have a disability, but I don't see that it's important for me to say, "Oh, I'm a disabled YouTuber."
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. Everyone has a different opinion on how we identify. I think I say it because for me, it makes it very clear the work that I do, and also because I kind of pass as able-bodied, and I work, full time and things like that. It's actually a really important part of my identity because it affects me every day and probably every minute of every day. One of my disabilities is playing up. So for me, it's just quite an important part of my identity, and also just a really easy way for me to explain this is what my channel is about, if that makes sense.
Yes. Because you don't look disabled, I think that
Yeah.
I feel that you're announcing that I'm a disabled YouTuber because you don't look disabled.
Yeah, exactly. And I have had a lot of hate from people being like, "You're not disabled."
Later, if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you that.
So yeah.
What I wanted to ask you was, have you had your disabilities all your life, or did they come on later on in life?
So a mix of both. So I'm dyslexic and dyspraxic. So was obviously born with those. I didn't necessarily get diagnosed until I was older, but I've had them my whole life. I've always had issues. So as a child, I was born with various infections and stuff. So I have always had issues, but I wasn't diagnosed. So I have lots of different things. I have OCD and anxiety, both of which impact me a lot in my daily life. And they came about when I got a bit older. And I also have overactive bladder and stomach issues as well. Yes. Again, I've always had stomach issues, and it's always impacted me, but I wasn't diagnosed until I was older. And my bladder came on later in life. And I'm currently in the process of speaking to a EDS specialist about whether or not I potentially have EDS, which obviously if I do, then I would have had that for life. And that would make a lot of sense with lots of things that are going on, but we'll kind of see what they say. So I have been disabled my whole life, but I haven't necessarily identified within that community my whole life, because dyslexia and dyspraxia, I felt like I wasn't disabled enough to be, if that makes sense.
When you got to talk like that, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Not disabled enough to be disabled.
Yeah. But it's interesting because that's kind of what you're told. I think because society tells us oh, disability is something that you don't want to have, and don't identify with being disabled, and if you are disabled, pretend that you're not, so that nobody knows, and when in reality it's not a negative thing. I'm very proud to be disabled, and in lots of ways it has benefited me with kind of things like my creativity and my perseverance and the people that I've met and the communities that I've been part of. Yes, it also can be really rubbish, and I can have days where I'm in bed in pain, but it's not a bad thing. It's just a thing, it's not a negative word. How
did you find having all of these problems at university? Because that's quite stressful in itself, isn't it? Having to go and do that.
It was hard. I'm actually allergic to alcohol, so I kind of didn't have that.
You're the second person that I know in my life that's allergic to alcohol.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very strange, that. Yes.
Yeah. It is a bit it is weird. And when you're kind of at university, and so I didn't drink once the whole time I was at university. So it is strange. And being at university was hard because I was doing a degree as well as having lots of health issues, and constantly going to the hospital, things like that. And it was hard. But it also made me really proud of myself when I graduated, because I was able to say, like, I've graduated, I've done well, and I've also coped with all these other things. And I had various other things that kind of happened while I was at university. I had some family members pass away, things like that. So it was kind of like a combination of lots of things that all mushed together to make one, like, just emotion. So I was really proud of myself, but it was hard. But I was there with my partner, so I did have him with me to kind of support me through as well, which I think really helped. To
you were
kind of get me
lucky to go to the same place, though, weren't you, to get the same?
Yeah. We're both creative, so it kind of worked out quite well, and we both really liked it. We've actually been dating for a very long time, so it just worked out that we liked the same place, and so.
Oh, that's good. That's a good thing to have back up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I never went to I mean, it wasn't the sort of thing that we did when I was younger. I did a degree later on in life, but only part of my job later on, sort of 20 years later after leaving school. So it's like, but I've never seen that sort of thing being like. I know my nephew has been, and he's now got a really good job with the MOD. So I can see the benefit of it is getting a higher paid job.
Yeah.
However, I've never worried about further education because it bores the pants off me. I'm sorry to say.
No, that's fine. I was quite lucky. My degree was fully creative, so I didn't have to write ever. So I basically was just doing like graphic design constantly. I think we had to write one essay the whole time I was at university. So I kind of chose the degree for that reason, whereas like I'm not sure if it was like something else, it wouldn't have been for me, but it was like fully creative for 3 years. So I actually really love that side of things. But university is not for everyone, and it's not the only path in life at all. Like there's thousands that you can take. So it
as well though, didn't you? Because obviously not writing much because of dyslexia, then you've got a good compromise there, haven't you?
Yeah, exactly. And it worked out quite well for me because I have never really been a big fan of writing, and I really just wanted to like do the creative stuff, and that's what my university offered me. So it made it a really enjoyable experience overall. So yeah.
Right, let's move on to the brilliant subject of YouTube, shall we?
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things, obviously, that you're promoting with your channel. And I noticed, I looked this morning, I was watching a few of your videos. They're very interesting. Obviously, the one that I was looking at, obviously, was the working one, and your various tips that you've got for people. I was very, very interested. From my point of view, obviously, when I go for a job, if I go, I'm self-employed, so I don't need to worry about that. But when I went for jobs, I always found that you're right. It's very difficult. Do you declare before you go?
Yeah.
Or do you not declare before you go? And the dilemma is that if you do declare, then you don't always get the job. And I've had that where I've been passed over because I've declared. But on other jobs, I've declared and I've got the job because of it. So I'm in two minds about what sort of advice to give to people. And I know your advice is don't declare.
Yeah.
Don't declare it.
I think that's just from the research and the people that I've spoken to who are in. I think also it does depend on the job. Of course, if you're going for a job where you know that they've openly said, we welcome all people with disabilities, etc., then of course declare. And of course, only don't declare if it's safe for you to do so, for example, or you can get away with not doing it. So like for me, I don't need to declare. I don't need an interpreter. I don't need I don't need accessible access. And so I don't need to declare. So I have that privilege to be able to do that. However, if I was going for a job that was related to my disability or was a charity, I probably would declare beforehand to tell them that I'm kind of part of this community. But from my experience, kind of through university and through kind of the teaching that I've been given, I've always been told not to declare anything about myself, to just kind of send a CV with my name, not even put a picture of myself on the CV, because unfortunately people do kind of have natural biases, I think. And for me, I always just feel that people can have a lot of stigma around disabled people, and think, oh, well, they're going to need loads of time at home, for example, or they're not going to do the job properly, or whatever silly stigma they have attached. So for me, I think it's just easier to not disclose, so that then when you get there, you can kind of impress them. Not that you should have to do that anymore if you are disabled, but people are just so silly. And I think it's also because I've received negative feedback at work that I kind of have that view.
You've had feedback at work?
Yeah, so not in my current job, thankfully, but I have in previous jobs kind of told somebody, oh, by the way, I'm disabled, this is what I need, and they turn around and say, yeah, no, you're not. And I'm like, well, I'm telling you that I am. And they'll turn around and be like, no, you're not disabled. Yeah. So that can be quite difficult. And I've also previously, when I have disclosed in kind of CVs and stuff, not heard back. And I've also kind of disclosed in some jobs, and people have been really shocked and really taken back, and then almost offended that I've said, like, oh, by the way, I'm a disabled person. And they're like, well, you're not disabled enough, you can't call yourself disabled, things like that. So I think it's such a tricky subject. And like with my YouTube, it's always my personal opinions, and I'm always kind of saying to people, tell me what you think, what would you do in that situation, example. So it is kind of just coming from my research, the people that I've spoken to, and my experiences of kind of negative situations that I've been put in because of my disability, and kind of being refused jobs and being told at certain places that I'm not disabled enough and stuff. So it's such a tricky thing. And I think it does depend on the situation as well, and the job that you're going for. So yeah,
you're in that sort of zone between fully disabled and fully abled, and you have this unique perspective on life.
Yeah.
With people and their attitudes toward disabled people. I mean, you must see that quite a lot, and you must hear what they say. Until you actually disclose that you are disabled, you're hearing what they think of disabled people.
Yeah.
As a raw comment, aren't you?
Yeah.
You're in that unique position that you can hear that. And are you actually surprised with people's attitudes towards disabled people?
I think so. I'm kind of that. I look like that kind of safe, able-bodied person that you can say something ableist to, and oh, there's nobody in a wheelchair around, so you'll get away with it. When in reality, I'm kind of sat there, on that day in loads of pain, really proud to be disabled. So I definitely have heard and seen negativity, kind of people questioning whether or not we should or shouldn't invite someone in. Also, a few times, like we've had people in a wheelchair, for example, come round. Again, this isn't my previous work. My previous work is actually really great for accessibility, but in kind of other jobs, I've had people, like I had somebody come in a wheelchair for a job interview, and people were really shocked that she was in a wheelchair. Or they kind of would say things like, oh, that must be really, really hard and tough for you that you've managed to get through that. I'm so sorry. And yeah, and you're kind of just a bit like, okay. And people do kind of say things that are ableist to me, and I will immediately stop them and be like, you can't say that, or you can't do that. And I'm in the position now where I can invite people in to my work, and obviously because it's such a great place and accepting of disability, I really enjoy that, to be in that position, to be a disabled person and get various different people asking to come and join my workplace and being able to offer them a fully accessible place. And I really enjoy that. But definitely in previous jobs, I've kind of heard people say negative things or kind of use even horrible slurs and stuff with each other. And you do see that. And also people kind of giving me side eye when I use disabled toilets and stuff like that, or when I need a bit of extra time off. So yeah, I kind of get that a lot.
Even I, when I'm using my radar key, because I'm not fully sort of able and I'm not fully disabled, I can walk around a little bit, and basically my back has got worse. So that's not my problem. My problem was cerebral palsy, but that's beside the point. It's actually, developed. So I've got worse and worse and worse over the years. However, when I use the disabled toilet as I am now, you do get some funny looks when you're going in there. You're thinking, well, what do you want to go in there for? When you're going in and somebody's coming out and they look at you just to say, well, you're not in a wheelchair. What it is, it's a stigma, isn't it? It's a stigma.
It's horrible, and I've been confronted directly from people before who have had a go at me. I remember one quite recently. I was shopping, and there was a really, really long queue. It was around Christmas time. There was a really, really long queue to get to the toilet, and so I don't have any major mobility issues, but I do get quite a lot of pain when standing for long periods of time. And I also have kind of chronic fatigue, so I can get very, very tired very easily. And also with my stomach and bladder issues, I need to use the toilet quickly. So obviously I saw that there was a long line. I was really desperate to go at this point, kind of in pain, needing to get to the toilet. And I went and stood by the disabled toilet because, as my right to do so, I needed access to it. And I was called out in front of, all of these people, all of which forcing me to disclose what my disability is to them. And it's just a horrible situation to be in, when that can be really traumatic. And I don't necessarily want to disclose to lots of strangers in person what's wrong with me and give them a detailed history of all of these conditions that I have.
Know what they are anyway, would they? I mean, that's
exactly. So it is horrible, and you do kind of see that ableism, and I see that a lot in my everyday. So it is. I mean, I'm kind of coming from a different view.
What is your view on terminology? Because I know that some people get really offended with certain words, and I don't have an issue per se with words, but I do have some issues with being called some words. If you use it against me or somebody else, then that's offensive.
Yeah.
But the reason why I asked that was that on your Facebook page, sorry about that. You mentioned something that you're making a video, and the quote is "looking for queer disabled people," and I just wondered, that's not the sort of word that I would have used. And I just wondered, are you happy with certain terminology to do with disability?
Yeah. So for me, like, for example, with the word queer, that's been reclaimed particularly by the younger generation. So now it's used very openly within language. And I always kind of check with people when I'm with them in person, whether or not they're happy with that word. Not everybody is. However, lots of people kind of in the younger generation are fine with it now. For disabled, for me, like the word disabled, I like that to be part of my identity. I am not such a big fan of things like exceptionally abled, which I've been called. I'm not such a big fan of like differently abled, but that's just for myself.
Disabled is fine.
Like a disabled person is fine.
Just more about the queer word. That was the word.
So it's been reclaimed now by the younger generation.
I didn't know
that. So it's completely. So for the younger generation, we use it now freely. It's we've reclaimed it as a slur, and it's actually now part of the LGBTQIA. So queer is actually in the acronym. So
So I would never accept the word spastic or spaz.
No, and I never use it. Never would.
I know young people do. I know young people use, oh, you're a spaz. You know,
Yeah, well, yeah,
it's slightly offensive, but I'm not overly bothered as long as I'm not being called it and somebody else is being called it. Then they can use whatever word they like. But it is offensive. I wanted to get your take on terminology. That was all.
Yeah. I think that's interesting. I was having a conversation with somebody the other day about the word cripple and whether or not we should use it and reclaim it, and how if able-bodied people should be welcome to use it or not. I thought it was a really interesting conversation, and it's not a word that's kind of part of my vocabulary at the moment. So like I don't use any I don't use any slurs like that. They're just not in my vocabulary. If a disabled person wants to reclaim it for themselves, I think that's their right to do so. Same with an LGBTQ plus person reclaiming queer, that's their right to do so. But for me, I don't feel like it's in my vocabulary or my right to reclaim that. So I just don't use it.
I don't particularly like the word handicap either.
Oh, no.
I mean, that's very American, I know.
Yeah.
But I always think of handicap as being a golf thing, or that in golf rather than disability. And
I don't like it.
They use it, but not British. No, it's funny that, isn't it? How words affect you and how they have become. Well, they've been adopted by people that want to be offensive.
Yeah.
People call you a name, and you get offended by a name. It's like, well, why? It's only a word.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think it depends on how much power it can hold. And obviously words can hold power and they have meaning behind them. And they can hold a lot of history. So for me, I personally just don't use anything that doesn't apply for me, so that it's not part of my community. Then I don't use it because it's not my place to do so. I don't generally get offended. So like if somebody says handicapped, I don't get offended. I don't like it, but I don't get offended. And if somebody just calls me a name, like sometimes I get hate on YouTube and people will just call me a slur, and I'm kind of like, well, could you not think of something a bit more original? And just choose not to allow that to offend me. If it was in person and they were kind of using it to put me down and say like you're not good enough, then that would be different. But if it's just like somebody tagging something on YouTube or Instagram or whatever just to be offensive, I just choose not to give them that power because.
Right, we'll be back in a moment for the second part of this interview. Right, I hope you've been enjoying that. Sorry about the beginning. I banged the keyboard and it reset the video back to the beginning. So the first part was played twice. Apologies for that. But hello to Eliza. Hello, thank you for coming on. We're going to be doing the second part of the interview very soon. I just thought get some comments from you and see what you think and have a little break, as it were. So hello to people on Facebook as well. So we have Rosemary and Tony and my wife. She's on Facebook. Can't believe it, but there you go. Anyway, thank you. It's been a good day apart from that little cock up, but there you go. I am a commensurate professional.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't be whining. This is my job. I'll just live with it.
Exactly. I'll just live with it. And of course, and she's Jackie's promoting herself again. she does like twittering a lot, Jackie. She'd like twittering. But don't forget, Twitface, no one cares what you do. So it is a bit of a dilemma, really, isn't it? A bit of a dilemma. Oh, hello, Mr. Bob. Mr. Bob. What's happened there? Mr. Alfie? Mr. Alfie Bob. Of course, if you want to ask anything, Eliza is here. So if you want to, got any questions about the first part? Oh, sorry, Jackie. It was an accident. It was a deliberate accident. Ow! Never mind. He dropped his phone. Boom! Oh dear. Never mind. I don't think I've got any power of restoration. I don't think. I don't think I can. No, I can't. I can't. I cannot do anything about it, I'm afraid, Jackie. Sorry about that. Seems to be a cock-up. But anyway, if you want to ask any questions, then please do that. We'll be doing the second part. Mr. Alfie killed Jackie. Mr. Alfie killed Jackie. Oh, gosh. Ow! Ow. Yes, well, it's 3 o'clock now, and we'll be doing the second part very soon. Can you ask? Of course you can, Andrew, number 6. Ask away. What's your question? As long as it's polite, of course. Polite questions are fine. Polite questions. Do you like blues music, Eliza? Do you like blues music? See, now, what Eliza doesn't know is that our Andrew is a musician who is very artistic like that. So I'll just say hello to Mr. Alfie, Mr. Alfie Bob. Bob, 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 Bob. Oh yes, so yeah, that's everybody's got a jingle. That's what it is. Everybody's got a jingle. That's yours. Oh, my poor old Jackie. How long is 300 seconds? That's about 5 minutes. Oh dear. Do you want me very happy?
I don't think so.
Good old Jackie. I was going to ask her to get her bits out in between, but yes, she does. There you go, Andrew. That answered your question. It's very difficult, Alfie. You're right. I know the older generation, they tend to not understand that some of the words like spastic and handicap and things like that they would use from the old days. Because in the old days, 1950s, 60s, that's what the terminology was. But yeah, I appreciate what you're saying. That it is quite difficult. It's also quite difficult to know what is acceptable. So because you might think, oh, I better not say that, but people do say it. It's a good thing if you ask, yes, quite right. Ask them what they think. Are they okay with that language? Yes. Well, it's like the queer word that we were talking about earlier. You know, I had no idea that was back in form and acceptable. Obviously, with reservations, but for me, I would never use that word. I suppose it's a very difficult language. Is a difficult subject. Give Mr. Alfie a good whipping.
Whip it! Whip it good!
Whip it good. Oh, Jackie will be back in a minute, probably. I was hoping that she might get a bit there, but maybe we might have time today. I don't know what's going on with this music. Right, I think it's time that we play the second half of the interview. So we'll do that. We'll do that right now. It is about 24 minutes, so bear that in mind. If you've got a cup of tea or anything like that, then you can, of course, carry on commenting down below. So you feel free to carry on chatting. But we will have the second half of the interview. Just bear with me. It's going to start, and here we go. Here we are for the second part of the interview that I recorded today with Eliza Fudge.
Hello, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for clicking on it. My name's Eliza. I run the Disabled Eliza channel, where we talk all about disability awareness, mental health awareness, sustainability and LGBTQ+ issues. We upload every Thursday at 2 p.m. So there's a video for you every week that you'll be able to click on. And there's lots of playlists currently on my channel if you'd like to check them out.
Talking of YouTube, as you are, I noticed that your channel is growing, and I'm very keen to know that, to start with, obviously you've started it to promote yourself and giving advice and guidance on disability. That's fair enough. That's what we all do. How many other disabled people do you know of? I know you've got a couple on your front page there, some of whom I met, such as Hannah Witten and Jessica. I met both of those people.
Yeah.
Very, very prominent YouTubers. Do you think that the whole YouTubing thing for disabled people is growing? How many people do you know who are doing it in the same way as you are and myself? Obviously, you know, I've been doing it a few years now, and I'm still very small as far as, you know, the likes of Jessica.
Yeah,
you know, she's got loads of subscribers. I really love her videos. I really do. They're really good. But I'm just wondering that there aren't that many disabled YouTubers, are there?
No, there aren't. And I think, like, for example, with Jessica, she is very kind of popular within the space, and that's amazing, and she makes amazing work. I do follow a lot of others, particularly, like, I have quite a lot of deaf YouTubers that I follow. So I follow like people like Deaf Boy Abroad and Twinkle Does BSL. And I also follow quite a lot of people online within the online space, like within Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. So there are quite a few of us, and Hannah Witten as well. I've met her a few times. She's really lovely. I think there is space for us all. And I think there is space for us all to grow. And I hope that we do, because I think it can be really helpful to teach able-bodied people about disability and teach them that it doesn't just look like one thing and it's not just one experience. You know, it's a variety of experiences, and it's also comes in such a spectrum, and lots of people who potentially might have a disability but don't identify with that as part of who they are. I think kind of seeing other people on YouTube talking about it openly can help to break down those stigmas and help them to kind of understand that about themselves and learn about the community that comes with it. And I think there is kind of space for us, and I hope that with time we'll see more disabled YouTubers within the space, within kind of that kind of grow as well. It's difficult to know. The YouTube algorithm is confusing, it's difficult to know how kind of big it can get. But we've seen it with Jessica, and you know, her channel is focused around disability, and yeah, she's done so well. So, you know, there's nothing to say that other people can't as well. And I do follow a lot of really great small YouTubers that seem to do like amazing work.
What advice? I mean, obviously you've got 404. It said on there at the moment, 404 subscribers. Hopefully you'll get a few more. Maybe hopefully from this interview, but obviously you know, yourself, you're promoting it. What's your best tips for promoting your channel and getting more subscribers? Because that's what I really want to do.
I think consistency is important, so uploading kind of the same times every week. I think promoting on Facebook and in groups that are similar to what you do, so disability groups can be really good, or whatever you do if you want to do something different. I found TikTok really helpful. So it's been a much easier platform for me to grow on, and kind of reach people, and then from that people kind of naturally go onto my YouTube. So I've got about 7,500 people on there at the moment. And obviously, sorry,
in what time frame?
So that I started, I think, 3 months ago.
Wow.
Yeah, so
it's
a lot quicker and easier growth on TikTok, and then from that, naturally, the people who really like your stuff will kind of go onto your YouTube, and just things like having a link in your Instagram bio, in your TikTok bio, on your Facebook page, if you want to promote to friends and family, is kind of the best way, and consistency, and also just being yourself. And I've been really lucky. I've built up some really loyal followers who kind of comment on everything and kind of watch everything I do. And even if I don't grow anymore, I'm kind of happy with where I'm at now, with the people that I've kind of connected with. And I get messages all the time from people saying like, you know, I've got overactive bladder and nobody talks about it, and you're talking about it online, or, you know, I have issues with my stomach, or I have OCD and I have these intrusive thoughts and I feel like I'm so alone. And it's really nice to even be able to help people on a small scale. So I think for me, it's always like remembering why I'm making the videos. You know, it's not to become famous or, you know, get loads of followers. It's to kind of help people be creative myself. So, you know, I think that helps me. You know, it can be hard when your YouTube channel isn't growing and you're kind of like, you know, why am I doing this? It's not necessarily growing that quickly. And it's normal to feel kind of down about that. But I think it's kind of remembering why you do it, and remembering the people that you've already helped, that can help your channel to kind of carry on going and then grow within time.
Yeah, I know exactly where you're coming from. I mean, that's so disappointing when you make videos and get 20 people watching.
Yeah.
Why am I doing this? But you know, you keep on plugging at it, and then it grows. I'm going to investigate that.
Yeah, it's a good platform, and there's a lot of disability people on there that are making cool stuff, and they're kind of really short videos, so they're only like 15 seconds to a minute long, so they're really quick to make, and then you can meet amazing people on it.
Okay.
So yeah,
Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to really look at it now, because I am on Instagram and all the other ones, but you're not getting anywhere with them. It's just, sometimes you have to focus on what's going to produce results in the end, and focus on that rather than trying to do everything. Because I'm on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all Pinterest, Tumblr, all the social media platforms that I've got on there. But they're all like maybe less than 100 followers. It's just, why do I bother in the end?
Yeah, I think Instagram is particularly tough to gain followers because it doesn't have a particularly great browse feature, whereas so for example on TikTok feeds your TikToks to people that are in your niche, so it naturally feeds it to people for you. So you kind of automatically reach people, whereas Instagram, it's a bit harder because they do have a browse page, but I don't know how many people necessarily follow on the browse page. Like, I just look at who I'm following, to be honest, and then find people naturally when somebody shares a story of someone else, then I'll follow through that. But I don't necessarily look for new people to follow in Instagram, whereas like TikTok and Twitter as well kind of naturally gives that, a retweet, more people are seeing your page, for example. So yeah, it's definitely something to look into.
I will do, yeah. That's good advice. I've learned something anyway. Talking of YouTube, as we were, and you briefly mentioned the abuse. I need to go into this a little bit more, because I've got two channels, main channels, two monetized channels, one of which I've had for 4 years. It's disability travel. So I talk about travel videos and things like that. That has really been suffering with constant abuse. It is times when I can put a video out and it will get 50 plus thumbs down for no other reason except that they can do it. It also suffers from really nasty comments. I've had death threats, basically. I've had people tell me that I should die or should, do this, that, and the other. Really, really unkind stuff that when you read it, you think, God, there are some really horrible people in the world. And basically, have you had to suffer this as a very small channel at the moment? I do fear for you in the future that if you suffer this, it's not going to be very nice for your personality. You have to suffer this and deal with it. I'm a very strong person, so I can accept it, put it to one side and ignore it. But some people can't, especially those with disabilities that maybe can't handle it. And I just wondered your take on that.
Yeah, I think naturally hate on any form is going to impact you a bit. But I think it's always remembering that, don't take criticism from somebody you wouldn't ask advice from. Because in reality, somebody sat behind a screen, typing hate into your YouTube is just doing it because, they want attention. It's kind of a cry out for, it's a reflection on them rather than you. And I had one a couple of days ago, which normally if they just write something horrible, like a slur or whatever, I'm kind of just like, meh, whatever, you're just bored. I had one a couple of days ago, which kind of was ripping into my personality and, why I make what I make and stuff. And I kind of just replied and said, you think that what you're saying has no consequences because you're behind the screen, when in reality, I'm still a person that hasn't done anything to you. If you don't like my stuff, just move on. You don't watch it. You can just click X. You don't need to comment. And from that, they ended up apologizing and being like, oh yeah, I shouldn't have done that. So most of the time I just let it slide. If it's really, really goes in depth to my personality and a real rip into me, I'll kind of be questioning why are you doing this, rather than oh, maybe they're right. I kind of
Yeah.
go to you like, why do you feel the need to have to do this?
Yes.
Because in reality, they'd never do that in person.
No, they wouldn't.
No. So it's just this mentality that you're kind of protected behind your computer screen when, in reality, you're not. And I'm okay with it. If I receive hate, I receive hate because I also have a lot of really lovely supporters who really are really lovely to me. So I kind of have that natural balance. Anyway, I also work in a creative industry where it's quite ruthless. So I'm kind of used to it. So yeah.
Is your channel do you have your channel settings? Do you have them moderated so that every comment that comes in you have to approve it? Because I've actually had to resort to that now.
I really no, I don't have that, but I do have words that are blocked on my channel. So and also I kind of find that YouTube will naturally delete hate for me. Sometimes I'll get an email being like, oh, so and so commented, and I'll be able to read the comment on the email, but when I go on my channel, it's gone. So I think YouTube does naturally filter out kind of any aggressive language, but I do also have kind of certain words blocked, so certain slurs. Occasionally they do still slip through, but most of the time YouTube will just delete it for me. So
it's always the comments that are sly and underhanded. So they're writing it in a nice way, but they're actually attacking you in the background. And that's the one that I really get really annoyed about, because I think you're just being nice and in the background you're attacking me with some comment.
Yeah, those are annoying. I do get a few of those, or I kind of get things like, well, you shouldn't be doing this because of this, and I'm kind of like, well, I'm just doing what my doctor told me. So like I kind of get a bit of that where you get like YouTube doctors that come on and they're like, no, you shouldn't do it like that, and you're like, are you my doctor? So yeah, those are kind of annoying.
I even have people say that they've done some research on Wikipedia about my condition, and my condition means that they're they have to accept my behaviours because of my condition, and it's a dig against you, but in a sort of a roundabout way that you sort of think, go away. Go.
And I've seen that quite a lot, even with big YouTubers, where people will kind of like research into their disabilities and like be like, well, you're not doing this or this, so you can't have this disability, or you can do this and this, so you can't have it, even though they have a medical diagnosis. And you're kind of like, what? Like, why do you have nothing better to do with your time? And like, it's also kind of like, even if, which probably never happens, but even if they didn't have it, and they were saying they did, like, does it actually make any difference to your life to then have a go at someone? Like, it's just, I don't know why people have the time to kind of do it and just completely belittle people with disabilities and make them look bad when they have a diagnosis, and then forcing them to show their diagnosis online. Because there's also people who are kind of undiagnosed with things, or are going through a diagnosis, or have self-diagnosed themselves with things, so they have every symptom or whatever, and they'll openly say like, I've self-diagnosed, and people will just completely slaughter them, and I just don't know why people have the time to do that. Like,
no, but then you have to realise that half of these people on here who are nasty trolls, they are narcissistic and trying to gaslight you into, because of their own self-worth, lack of self-worth. This is what I've come across in my 4 years of being abused, that I'm slowly realizing that you have to make allowances because they actually have disabilities.
Exactly.
They've got an emotional, mental disabilities, haven't they, really, to be honest with you. So it's sort of, in a way, it sort of explains the behaviour to a certain degree. Now, I've only got a couple more questions, so I'm sure you want to get off and have a little rest after your hospital trip. So what we have to talk about as disabled people is our lovely government and their attitude towards disabled people. You'll see on my channel I have a lot of videos about the benefit system, Tory government, etc. the way that they behave, the way that we are treated. And I just wondered, your experiences of that system. And I did see somewhere that you said that you couldn't get any help with that. So you probably don't have any involvement in the benefit system as such.
No, I have tried, but even getting therapy on the NHS is impossible for me, even though I have, like, whenever I've seen a private therapist, they've always said you have severe OCD. I have always been turned away. And when I've kind of spoken to my GP about, getting support, for example, or even like tried to fill out forms online, my GP's just like laughed at me and was like, there's no point in you even trying, because I'm kind of able to, walk around, wash and clean myself. They basically were just like, you're not going to get any support. No, I'm not disabled enough.
Yeah.
When in reality, I would really benefit from not necessarily having to not work at all, but having the option, because I've had times where I've had like severe kind of mental breakdowns when my disabilities are flaring, where I'm unable to work, and that work also makes me much worse. It's emotionally and physically draining. I use my weekends to completely recharge, so I don't do anything but work because I am recharging. So it can be really hard. I don't feel the government cares about us. I read a thing about coronavirus, how something like 22,000 disabled people have died during this time because they haven't been able to access things that they normally access. Shielding has been a mess. People weren't getting their care packages on time. People weren't getting their letters on time. It's just been really unclear. And I just feel like the government doesn't care about us and just sees us as like
the DNR thing. Wow, the do not resuscitate.
Yeah.
Aware of that?
Yeah, I've heard about that, and like the point system of whether or not you're worth saving.
Yeah.
And it's just like it is just ridiculous that people think. And also I've heard a lot of ableist language around it, and like in the media and stuff, and people being like, well, I'm bored of lockdown, I want to go out now, and kind of thinking that disabled people don't also help run our country as well. And of course, work in no way equals worth at all. And I think the fact that we live in a society that tells us it does is wrong. And that disabled people who can't work are just as valid as that can.
Exactly.
And don't deserve, like, people who can work don't deserve better treatment than those that can't. But I also think that people are saying things like, well, we should just go back to work and leave disabled people at home. But it's kind of like, do you not realize that many disabled people work and help run your country too? And, are doctors and nurses and work in supermarkets and do all these different things, and are teachers, every job. And I feel like, the government doesn't really care about us. And it's frustrating. But I guess it's just carry on voting and keep fighting.
Well, I hope people vote, because a lot of people, when you ask them, they say, "Oh no, I didn't vote."
Yeah.
And you wonder why. And then you get the other people who are disabled, and they say, "Who do you vote for?" "Oh, I vote for the Tories." Why the hell did you do that?
Yeah.
You're voting for your own demise, to be perfectly blunt.
Yeah, and I think the Tories are very good at that, at kind of tricking people into voting for them, and saying that they're going to do all these things that they never do. And also people who vote Tory are very good at kind of spinning the things that they've done. So I can kind of see why, and they make it difficult. Like with everything, it's difficult to know who to vote for because they don't necessarily make it clear. They have a long manifesto. They're not always accessible. They don't always have a interpreter on there, things like that. It's not always in the correct language, lots of different reasons. So I think they're very good at kind of tricking people into voting for them as well. And so it is frustrating, and politics is, they make it sound dull and hard to understand. Like, I find it hard to understand. and it kind of makes people naturally be like, well, I just don't really want to do that because it's not interesting, and not vote, or just vote for the one that their mum votes for example, if you see what I mean. So
that's generally what happens, isn't it?
yeah. So I can see totally why it happens, and I think the Tories are very good at that, kind of telling you that they're going to do one thing.
As you said, they don't care. They're all only interested in money and self and being productive. So if you're not productive, you're not worth nothing.
Yeah.
It proves the point that when they can say that disabled people should be paid less for doing the same job, I just think I'm going to put two fingers up, because if I'm doing a job, I want the same money as somebody else.
Of course.
There's no argument about that.
Yeah. And I think people forget that they could join the disability community at any point in their life.
Any point, yes.
So people don't. I think they kind of think. They forget that, and they just see themselves as being better than a disabled person, when actually, at any moment in your life, you could end up joining the community, and and then you've just been horrible and badmouthed people that are now in your community, and you now understand. And I think people do kind of forget that, and they just see disabled as a negative thing and something that's in the way, when in reality they probably know somebody that's disabled that is, in their family. Or
do they I have a suspicion that they would have the same attitude to these people that they know that they would have to anybody else. I suspect that because that's the way that they are. That's the way that they've been born,
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's a shame, and I don't know how they could justify paying a disabled person less money when it costs them more money to live in general per month compared to an able-bodied person. But yeah, it's just the government's a mess.
On that note, I'm going to say thank you very much, Eliza, for your time. I really appreciate the chat. I hope that we can chat again sometime, and I've really enjoyed today.
Yeah, it was great. It was lovely to speak to you, and thank you for seeing me. Sorry, I'm probably a bit of a mess after my trip last night, so I hope it was all right.
Hopefully you'll get some subscribers, viewers, and commenters and like this, because I know that our community here, they're very active in supporting other people. So I'm pretty certain that you'll get some people come over.
Amazing, that would be great. Yeah, it's just Disabled Eliza on YouTube, so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah, amazing.
Thank you for chatting to me today.
Thank you so much for chatting to me, and it was great to see you and meet you.
Thank you to Eliza for the interview today. Her details will be down in the comments section of the live stream. If you want to contact her, click on the YouTube channel and go and subscribe. And a very big thank you to Eliza for doing that interview. Okay then, thank you. That was brilliant. I really enjoyed that the second time round. I've had it 3 times because I got to edit it as well. So that's 3 times. Thank you, Eliza, for that lovely interview and lots of good stuff there. I'm sure that you'll get lots of visitors from this channel. And thank you, Andrew. If you want to come on now, then feel free to do that. We want to come on and try your microphone, then now is the time to do it. Sorry, I couldn't bring you on before because the interview was nearly finished. So however, if you want to come on and have a chat, do that now. Otherwise we will move on, as it were. Where's the music gone? Why is that music not working? Oh. I don't know what's wrong with my computer this last few weeks, or last week. It has really, really, really been very slow. You click on a button, nothing happens for a few minutes. It's in the comments section. Don't know if you can go in and get it for me. Copy it over and put it on the chat window. There is a link, YouTube link. And probably what I'm going to probably do is put the whole thing on as a whole interview. There he is. Hello. And probably what I'm going to probably do is put the whole thing on as a whole. Right, I can hear you. You can hear me. Hello. And probably what I'm going to probably do is put the whole thing on as a whole. I've got the. You can hear me. Hello. And probably what I'm going to probably do is put the whole thing on as a whole. Not working, is it? Yeah. You can hear me. Hello. And probably what I'm going to probably do is put the whole thing on a whole. Not working, is it? Yeah. You can hear me. Hello. And probably what I'm going to probably do is you've got a loop going around like working, is it? Yeah. The audio. Hello. And probably what I'm going to probably do is you've got a loop going around like definitely need one of these. Yeah. The audio. Hello. And probably what I'm going to probably do is you've got a loop. I don't know where that is. You need one of these. Yeah. The audio. Hello. I'm probably you've got a loop. I don't know where that is. You need one of these. Very entertaining, I have to say. Very entertaining. I'm probably you've got a loop. I don't know where that is. You need one of these. Very entertaining, I have to say. Very entertaining. I'm probably you've got a loop. I don't know where that is. I don't know. Very entertaining, I have to say. Very entertaining. I'm probably like to hear your jingle. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to I don't think it's working, Andrew. I don't think it's working, Andrew. I don't think we're getting there. We're getting there. I think we need to get this and that would be might do away with all of the reasons and the new effect. It sounds like it's the microphone is picking up the audio and then it's picking up the audio again and picking up the audio again and basically, yeah. It's picking up when you've got the signal on the screen and you put the camera on it and you can see a camera. Thank you, Eliza. It's time to do and go how you get here. You have to try this to split with everybody. You have to split together. My voice is doing good. Yeah. Pretty good. Should we try that and see if that works? Am I back? Am I back? Am I back in? Am I here? Am I there? Am I there? Am I there? Am I not? Am I not? I don't know. Am I? Sounds like I'm in a bowl. Is that better? Am I okay now? Yeah, I don't know. Spot on. Okay. Right, well, don't worry, Andrew, it's not a problem. Not a problem. So, how many of you are up for playing Quiplash today? Seems that Jackie's not going to get her bits out today. I think she should get her bits out. I'm disappointed now. I've got to go a whole week without seeing her bits. Yeah. You can't today? Why is that then, Andrew? Why can't you play Quiplash? How many are going to play Quiplash? I think because I might have a chance of winning today. Hey, yeah, that'd be good, wouldn't it? So it's 3:36. Shall I see if? Yeah, but you said that 2 hours ago, didn't you? Shall I see if you know who would like to come on? I'll send her the link and see if she wants to come on. Probably not. Jackie's not getting her bits out. It'll be worth the wait. It will be worth the wait. It'll be worth the wait. Definitely. Thing is, now I've sent the link, she might come on, and then I'll have to get rid of her. Because that's cruel, I know. I am very cruel. But since she comes on, then make a decision based on that. Hello to Facebookers, and of course Twitch. Hello Twitchers. Good afternoon, it's Andy Wright talking really. Lovely Sunday afternoon. It is of course 28th of June. And of course, this will be the last day of the last live stream of June. You were looking forward to see what Jackie's bits are. You're still awaiting your link. Why? Where's your link? You can come on if you want. Hello, my darling. Good evening. Your microphone, hang on, what's going on? Oh, you've got your microphone. Click your button. That's it. Yeah. Hello. Mr. Alfie's on, look. Mr. Alfie.
Hi, Tadpole. I'll stop talking because I know Tad likes to talk a lot, so I'll give her the screen. It's all yours, Tadpole. You've got open mic.
Hello, Tad.
Hello, people.
Hello, people. Jackie says hello. Brian.
Now listen, what? I'd like to make 2 points. Okay.
Okay.
First of all, when you come on this live stream a little bit late, as I did,
yes,
I'm limited to how far back I can scroll to the chat to get the link.
Yeah.
That was the reason for my link. Okay.
No.
Now,
right.
Secondly, I realised I publicly embarrassed Jackie. And I'd like to explain how that little infringement happened.
Okay.
Just as I said hi to everybody, she posted something and it gave the moderators the option to hide or show an
Yes.
innocuous statement.
Yes.
So just as my right digit reached for the show, my left hand twitched and jerked, and I started juggling with my phone to stop it hitting the ceramics. And when I up-faced the phone, I'd actually timed her out for 30 seconds. I know this is sounding like a pathetic and unreasonable excuse or reason, but this is in actual fact how it happened.
It sounds very plausible.
Yes. Well, I try to sound plausible every time I come on here and talk. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
On point number one, when I said it was in the link, was in the comments, I actually meant on the actual live stream video in the comment box down the bottom, not on the chat window. So
I see.
I didn't explain myself correctly.
Yeah.
But,
well, I'm going to let Tad talk because there's a couple of points I'd like to raise in view of the last conversation with that very nice lady who was talking.
Okay. So, Tad, over to you. Chat away. Hello.
Hello.
Hello. You're very chatty today.
There's no stopping her, is there?
She's so chatty. You want to stop chatting? I think her video's playing up. Is your video? Yeah, it's not working properly. Your video stopped, darling.
Me?
Yes, you. It's broken. Oh, there you are. Hello. Oh, she's gone now. Right, so you didn't embarrass Jackie. You embarrassed us all, according to Rudy.
Well, apparently I've just discovered that you can actually hide someone on Streamlabs.
Oh.
Because I was playing around with the settings while I was lighting a cigarette, so I pressed hide and she's gone.
Oh.
How clever is that?
What, you can do that?
Yeah, I've just done it.
How do you do that then? That's a bit weird.
Well, I'm trying to sound plausible when I'm saying this. But...
Yeah, like I believe it.
No.
Yeah, no, go on.
When I was listening to that interview, and a very interesting interview it was, you are the only disabled person I've known.
Yeah.
Okay, as a friend.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes it's extremely difficult, especially when you're relaxed, you're having a beer and you're chatting and the night's drawing on, you get into conversation or you make witty remarks or observations about other people and what have you. Unfortunately, your mind doesn't keep up with the current trends of the day. You know, you sort of regress in your thinking, or your terminology.
Yeah.
And sometimes I find it extremely difficult, and I've had to slam the brakes on quickly because I was about to use terminology which is now considered outdated and non-PC. Because you're talking to a friend that is disabled, and the last thing I'd want to do is, you know, upset you or insult you.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult because at my age, you do live in the past.
Yeah.
You know, and that thought process is with you every single day of your present and current time and age.
It is,
and it's
very
extremely difficult to pull yourself back at times, you know, and you know, you think, oh Christ, I nearly said that then. You know, in the past it would have been laughed at and maybe agreed with, but now it's
not
awkward because
PC.
you have,
Yeah.
you have to second think yourself, which
I gotta say that, like Rudy says, it's gone a bit too far with PC-ness. I think there is too much PC. I'm acceptable with the majority of words, providing they're not used in an aggressive manner. So you hear the usual one, like, "Oh, you're a spaz," for example.
Yeah.
Spaz is a very offensive word. Or it has become an offensive word, but the young people, they use it all the time, not in the same way that we did. It means, oh, you're a bit dipsy, or you're a bit, you're a bit slow, or whatever. But when they use it against you as a direct attack, is when I have a problem with that word, or any word. But you have to be reasonable, because I think that there's an emphasis, isn't it? It's between knowing the difference between somebody saying it by accident and using it deliberately.
Yeah, but I think it makes the user of certain terminology feel more embarrassed when they automatically have to correct themselves and say, "Hey, I'm sorry, I said that, it slipped out."
Yeah.
You being you would say, forget it. It was quite funny, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
But that embarrassment is embedded in your mind then. You feel all right, knob, for coming out with it. You should have thought first.
I mean, to be fair, you and me, we've been friends for a good 2 years now, nearly. I mean, we've had lots of conversations in person and on the internet. And you have never really said anything that I thought, "Oh my God, what's he on about?" Like, "Oh, that's really horrible. Why do you say that?" You've never ever done that. I mean, there may be a time when you will, but I mean, I can't envisage that happening. I think that you're.
No, I just see you as just a normal person. I don't see you as a disabled person.
Yeah.
You're a mate, a friend, so I'll talk to you the same as I'll talk to anybody else on my messenger list. But because I see you as a normal person, not disabled, you're just slow in thinking sometimes when you say things, and
I think the problem is people they put this label, "Oh, you're disabled." Hang on, no, I'm a human being first. The disability is something that I have. It's not me. I am not personally. I'm not disabled, right? I am a human being that has disabilities.
Yeah.
So it's a totally different thing. And some people, they don't see that. They say you are the disabled person. You are it. There's no separating between the person and the disability. It's like when they see a wheelchair. You're automatically that it. You're a wheelchair user because you're in a wheelchair.
Yeah. Well, as they say, when you're talking to somebody, see the person, not the disability, if it's visible. You see the person. That's who you're communicating with.
Yeah.
If they've got no legs or one arm missing or what have you, it's the person you're dealing with, you're speaking with.
Yeah.
So you see them first. And it's the same as colour. If you're African American, Chinese, I always see the person first.
Yeah.
And then I'll say, "Oh, it's a black guy." It's so unimportant, a person's caste. I have plenty, well, not plenty, but a few African American friends. They've come over here, they've visited me. We've been out literally every day of the holiday, and they've been excellent people to be with. And I see those as people, not as black African Americans.
Yes.
And And as you know, I don't like people that see them otherwise from the conversation I had.
Subject, though, isn't it, at the moment, with all of this going on? And I'm basically the same as you. I think that there shouldn't be any emphasis on that. You're a human being first. And what really makes me laugh is that when they go on about black people and all of this, thing that's been going on in the news lately, I remember the stories and the research that people have done, and as white people, we actually come from Africa originally. We moved from being African and moved out into the world. So, I mean, let's face it, we are actually black ourselves. They can't argue with that.
Well, yeah, I mean, so I'm all for these movements springing up to highlight the problems. Not that I don't think there's anybody on the planet unaware of the colour issue. Black Lives Matter, full agree with that sentiment, but all lives matter.
All lives
matter what colour you are.
Yeah.
And, from what I was talking to you about a few days ago, if these white guys sit down and think about the history, but unfortunately a lot of them don't have the intelligence, education or knowledge of thinking back that far. It is we, the Caucasian race, that created this colour problem. It's us. We are to blame.
Yeah.
With the introduction of slavery, with the, with the Portuguese and the Spanish and, and whoever else was involved in it. We created today's problems, so we should shoulder the responsibility and burden of that. Not blame it on a black thing or a coloured thing. It's our fault.
Yes.
And it's there plain to see in our history. But they all live in a little world of deniability.
Well, unfortunately, that's that's a whole
and
different
it really pisses me off. It really does, especially when you get a bloody spanner talking to you in racist tones and he expects you to accept them.
Yeah.
So no, I didn't accept it, and it was blocked. And I've just no time for racists. It's, they leave a nasty taste in my mouth.
Let's face it, you can get horrible people, no matter what colour they are. You can get horrible people and you can get nice people. The colour is irrelevant.
There's good and bad in everybody. In all religions, all races, all creeds.
I mean,
that's the natural order of things, isn't it?
Yeah, the media and society really are responsible for, pursuing some of this stuff, because they make it an issue. It's
because
terrible.
It makes good news.
Yeah, well.
And good news sells advertising. It gets the ratings increased.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
I mean, so they must be pretty peed off at the moment because everybody's on about this virus. And it's not a ratings blockbuster, is it? It's news everybody wants to hear. So no advertisers are rushing to get the firm, company or activities named within a news coverage, because over here we get advertisements on news programs.
Yeah.
Because it's just the virus. But the Black Lives Matter, we want a slice of that. It'll make us look good.
Yeah.
Right. We'll do a program on that. It's bringing the advertising revenue in. So the ones that are condemning the thuggery are actually benefiting from it, but they never, they fail to mention that fact. The millions of revenue they're making, extra revenue.
Well, it's always about money, isn't it? It's always about money.
Yeah. Everything's always about money. Always has been, always will be. They don't give a toss about anything else, only the bottom line.
We should do what Star Trek does, have a system of no money.
Yeah.
Everybody's worth something. They can all produce something.
Yeah.
Society. an equal society. I mean, do we ever see that happening? I don't know. It's going to be, I don't know. I mean, especially these days, this day and age, when we're having to survive, like with DNR and things like this being put on your medical record based on whether you're disabled or not. I mean, the world we live in, I really don't like it anymore. I just want to leave. I just want to go to another planet because it makes me feel really, really unwanted in the world. Absolutely terrible.
Well, when it was mentioned that 22,000 of the deaths occurring over this virus in the UK were attributed to disabled people, you know, I found that number unbelievable.
Yeah. Well,
you know, it's absolutely disgraceful if it, you know, if the true figures.
I think,
and I must be honest with you, at the moment, I tend to question any figure released by any country concerning this virus, because I really don't think they know the true facts.
True numbers.
You know.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, I think
and I think it'll be many years before the actual figures come out, believable figures.
You've got a government that says one thing and then does another, and you know, you don't really know what to believe anymore.
Yeah. Well, it's happening here. 3 days ago, there was a massive spike in infections in Cairo. And a government minister made the statement, the reason for this massive spike is, but it's not been publicized what he said, but it was apparently absolutely ridiculously childish, his theory. God. So the government have stopped all doctors and professionals commenting on news, radio, newspaper about this spike. Now the doctors have brought cover and are demanding this government official apologise, if not be removed. But they're still not allowed to say why this massive spike occurred. What's the big deal? Because they say this guy is misleading the population. They need to know the truth.
Yeah.
You know, and that they are entitled to know the truth. You know, if it leads to better protection or makes them more aware of a new problem that's cropped up that could create more infections, what's the big deal about hiding it? It's not as if there's only Egypt got this virus. The whole planet has.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and what they know and what they're not allowing anybody to talk about could help other countries.
Mm.
You know, it's...
I don't know, because I don't know which country is got the right method of dealing with it, because they're all doing different things, and they're not doing the same things, and they're getting different outcomes. It's you know,
it's the same as the president of Brazil. That tosser's still telling everybody it's only flu.
Oh God!
You know, China's denying that there's been any new outbreaks. There was another one this morning, 17 new cases in one of the cities that got leaked out. You know, they just don't seem willing to tell the truth as much as they know it. You know, because nobody knows the true facts and figures at the moment. But what's the big deal about saying, oh, we've had 30 new cases? The big deal is they're that desperate to reopen the countries to trade.
Yes.
That they're telling lies.
It's about
our
money.
country is now safe. And be honest with you, the more I read in the Pattaya news, like they haven't had a case now, local case, for 33 days. I think they should make it 66 days and just not open it to tourists.
Yeah.
You know, the economy is going to suffer, although they are talking about new economical links with the UK. They're having talks at the moment, but it's not said what. But both sides say it looks very interesting and promising for both of us.
Mm.
You know, they're going to suffer economically, but they'll all recover, especially with a place like Pattaya. You know, the money will eventually flood into that country again via tourism.
I mean, when you think about the UK, it's gone down 20% on the economy and 3 million unemployed. It can't get much worse than that. So we're already at the bottom. The only way is up, really.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But I think they're trying to get up too quickly.
Yeah, they are.
That's only my personal opinion. You know, they're allowing holidaymakers to visit certain European countries now.
Yeah.
But these European countries still have the virus.
So do we. We got
exactly
180 deaths yesterday.
Yeah. And it's all about pacifying the general public, trying to get them back to normality, to stop these scenes like that street party that 20-odd police officers injured in, because the tossers thought that the virus would stay away from that street for that one night as they partied, no social distancing, no masks.
Oh,
you know.
God.
And the football hooligans in Liverpool celebrating the match win.
And Bournemouth.
One building was set on fire. The tossers.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
They don't give a toss only about themselves. And a lot of this didn't happen in recent weeks or months because the sale of alcohol was not there. The pubs were shut.
Mm.
And this is the problem. They get fueled up with a few beers and throw caution to the wind, and they don't give a toss about anything.
Mm. That's right.
You know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the answer is, but whatever answer it is,
the answer is if you want to stop something, you stop it. And if that means a total lockdown of every country for the next 6 months, then you've got a 99.9% chance of eradicating the threat. You know, specialists are coming out now stating that America, in fact, has probably 20 million infected.
Mm.
And the vast majority know nothing about it. Now, okay, let's say those figures are correct. Let's say 7 million of those supposed 20 million have now recovered. But the other millions are going about their daily lives, not knowing they've ever been infected, are going to start traveling, conversing with other people, mixing.
Yeah.
And then you start the beginnings of the second wave in America.
Yeah.
Now, as I said, you can't go off these numbers they keep throwing out, but this is a 3-month study. This is the probability there's 20 million plus being infected in the US since it began.
Mm.
And when you see how some of them are acting, especially Trump doing all these re-elect me please meetings, and there's thousands there, no social distancing, no face masks. He refuses to wear a face mask. You know, you lead by example, don't you?
Yeah.
And people are getting infected. There's spikes happening where he's been, and his camp followers are following him. Because it's so important to get re-elected for the second term. Now, if the collateral damage is another few thousand Americans dying of the virus because they've been following him and mixing without face masks or other precautions, hey, what the hell? I'm in for another 4 years. Let's bomb China.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have time to get it on the agenda last time, but this time we'll go for it.
This time we'll do it, yeah.
Yeah.
Right, on that note, Mr. Alfie, would you like to play Quiplash?
I know I can't see the chat, but they're all saying, oh, for God's sake, get him off, Andy. Let's play Quiplash. Far more important.
No.
Yeah, so, okay, I've said my piece. It may get flagged again and removed before it gets transmitted, but there you go.
Yeah, well, there's some people that want to put their head in the sand and ignore the facts, but hey, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, I'll say ta-ra to you and everybody, and I'll go back on the talk.
Okay, then we'll play Quiplash.
Yeah.
And
goodbye, people. Yeah.
Goodbye.
Okay.
Okay, guys and girls, are you ready for a quick lash? We're running a bit late today, but never mind, it's fine. We will get this playing. So you need to log into jackbox.tv. Jackbox.tv. And when you're ready, right, there we go. So feel free to log in. Jackbox.tv. Jackbox.tv and type in your code BWVE. How do you get on? Hey! Jackbox.tv, Andrew. Angry Healthy. Jackbox.tv. There you go. See you, Jackie. Bye bye, Jackie. Bye bye, Jackie. Quiplash. BWVE. 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 Oh, there he is. Andy number 6. Any more for any more? Tim, are you playing today, Tim? For any more? There's Eliza's YouTube link in the chat window, so if you want that. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 people. Are we going to play then? Any more for any more? Or is that it? Right, let's play. Here we go. Let's play.
Hey there, Schmitty here. You there, Schmitty here. Yes. All right, you guys, hold on to your butts and also your phones, because here we go.
Here we go.
This is round 1. You'll get 2 prompts on your device. Just answer them however you want. Your responses, or quips, will be pitted against someone else's, and everyone will vote on their favorite. You score based on the percentage of players who like your answer. Plus, there are winners' bonuses at stake. Go!
Okay, you guys and girls, don't forget you haven't got long. There is 60 seconds to go. Well done, Andrew. There's Rudolph. And we've got Brian, our selfie, and Brian. Brian's a slow typer. 35, 30, 20 seconds, Brian, 20 seconds. There we go.
Let's start this show. First one, the newest health food, blank juice. Okay, pick your favorite. Okay, next one.
Sorry, Andrew.
The worst question to ask during a White House tour. Vote on your devices.
I like that. Do I need a face mask? Bing bong. Mr. Alfie.
Next one. Time to vote.
Somebody didn't vote. Rudy.
And next is, if you don't have extra money, an odd thing to use as a tip for your waiter. It's voting time.
I like that. Bing bong. Well done.
Next in line, no one would guess this is where the treasure is buried. Time to vote.
In an Andy Wright mug. Or underground. That's good, that's good. I like that. That's very clever. And he wins! Yeah. Wow. Well done, Brian.
That's the end of round one. Let's take a look at the scores.
Oh, Brian's in the lead. My goodness.
Round two time, and to make it interesting, I'm doubling all the point values. You heard me.
Right, 40 seconds. 40 seconds to go. Only Brian to go now. 30 seconds. There we go.
Let's take a look. First up, the name of the next hot boy band. Okay, everyone, vote for your favorite.
Wang the crank. Yep. I knew he'd do that. Whiplash!
Coming up next, there's Gryffindor, Ravenclaw, Slytherin, and Hufflepuff. But what's the Hogwarts house few have ever heard of? Vote on your devices.
Oh!
And next, time to vote.
Takes on wheels, really. Has. Yep.
Next up, how do you like it? It's voting time.
Oh, God, that's good. That's good, that's good.
Coming up next, what aliens do with you after the anal probe. Time to vote.
Oh, my God. Andy, number 6. Yay! Good ball! Well done.
Round 2 is no more. Let's see the damage.
Oh! Oh my God!
And now round 3, the last lash. Point values are tripled, and you'll all be answering the same prompt this time. Our last lash prompt is fun thing to do if locked in the mall overnight.
Don't forget, guys, you've only got 15 seconds left. 15 seconds. There we go. Okay.
Everybody's in. Okay, in round 3, you get to award 3 votes. You can give them all to one answer or spread them out.
I like that. Nine, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good one, Brian. Good one. Angry Alfie. Thank you. Rudolph. And
That's the end. Let's see the final scoreboard.
Final score. Oh my God! Good one, Rudy. Well done. I went from first to last. First to last. Nice one, Rudy. Well done. Well done, Rudy, and commiserations to everybody else. But well done, Andy, because Andy number 6 did quite well. That was pretty smart. Well done. Well done, well done. Good game, good game. Thank you. Well done. Who won? Who won? Very funny. Very, very funny. Anyway, guys and girls, it's lovely talking to you today. But we're running late, so we're going to call it a day. Not that there's any important need to dash off, but I'm sure you've all got better things to do with your lives. So we'll call it a day. And of course, nothing's happened. Come on, what's going on with this? Why isn't it working?
Goodbye.
Goodbye, 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 everybody.
This computer is annoying me. You press a key and then you wait 5 minutes for it to bloody well work.
And that's my cue to exit.
So
I'm pretty tired. Think I'll go home now.
I hope you all had a good time.
I say when you gotta go, you gotta go.
This is goodbye.
Thank you for listening.
My micro mechanism thanks you. My computer tapes thank you. And I thank you.
Is it a happy ending?
Is this a happy ending or a sad ending?
It's an ending. That's enough.
It is, of course. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, we'll be back on Wednesday evening on the other channel, Andy Wright Travel, and we're back on here on Friday at 1:30. So Friday fun, 1:30, Friday, and of course back here Sunday at 2 p.m. And hopefully I'll have another interview for you with somebody else, hopefully, if all goes well. I do hope you've enjoyed yourself. Thank you to Eliza. I'm sure she's not here now, but I'm sure she'll be watching later. Thank you, guys and gals. Appreciate your support. Lovely chatting to you. And, of course, thanks for playing the Quiplash game at the end. Have a good evening. Bye for now.
Harry, are we ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Then let's do it. All hands, initiate shutdown sequence.
Now, come along, you two. Say goodbye to the fishes. Goodbye, Tish. Goodbye, Tosh. We have to stop now, but Andy Pandy's coming again soon. Goodbye, children.
Andy's waving goodbye, goodbye.